All right, let's talk, guys. Stocks did not do well today, and we have to go over, well, my thoughts. Go over what I'm looking to do, stocks that I'm literally looking to buy tomorrow, right? We're going to break down the charts in this video. A lot of charts to cover, guys. So, yeah, we got a single espresso tonight. Cheers. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Let's dive into it. Oh, by the way, if you find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and let me know in the comments, guys, stash or no stash. A lot of comments today on Instagram and Facebook saying stash Surf S. I was freaking dying. So, what do you think, guys? Rock the stash a little bit or get rid of the stash? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. I'm probably going to get rid of it in a couple of days regardless. Either way, man, we're giving it a trial run. Cheers. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. So, the market today, not looking the best. Was not the best day. QQQ went down 1.1%. S&P down 0.5%. The Dow went down 0.1, and actually the Russell had a green day, 0.75% actually in the green, which that wasn't the case earlier in the day. And overall, the entire market rebounded, so things were worse in the beginning of the day. So the Russell actually went green. None of the other indices did. They all stayed red. But look, we had a crazy recovery intraday on SPY. We hit 686 in the morning, more towards the middle of the day. Either way, then we rallied into close. We hit 690, closed over 690 actually. Now we're consolidating a bit in the aftermarket. So what that tells me is that we're respecting this support right here, which we covered earlier. I think we mentioned it in the video. Definitely talked about it on Patreon. So the buyers came in right where we wanted them to come in at, at the bottom of this channel. And I was saying how if we take 680 out, that's not going to be pretty on the downside, right? 680 is a big support from, I think, the first trading day of this year. So if we take that out, yeah, that would be a break of trend. But the fact that we held this channel, we popped off of it, now we're heading higher. That's a good sign, for that the bulls might be gaining some momentum here. Although we did have a red day. I mean, guys, come on. We had a red day, but we're noticing some signs here. Buyers are coming in exactly where I want them to on the charts. I like that. And QQQ, same thing. You're noticing here we had a 1.1% red day, but we got a nice recovery off this trend line right in the, right in the wedge that we've been in and still trading in there. You can see it right here on the 4-hour chart. So my alert set at 6:30, and at this point, man, I don't necessarily think we're gonna break out this week. Probably we're gonna need to see some earnings next week. Let this sell off settle down a little bit. Let the dust settle, as I like to say sometimes. So I don't know if it's going to happen this week, but ultimately, especially into the tech earnings, I think we're going to break out a bit on QQQ. I think it's coming. We just got to be patient and wait for it. So yeah, red day across the board, except for the small caps. And a lot of tech stocks got hit today, man. A lot. Meta keeps getting squashed. And this is one that you guys know I was buying after the last earnings report. I started buying it in the low mid 600s or right in the mid 600s at first. Then we started buying it under 600, bought it down a bit here. Maybe not under 600. I don't think I got filled under 600, but we were buying in the low 600s, mid 600s. Then it saw the rally up to about 680. So I was green at one point. Now we're starting to slip again into earnings because investors are getting worried. They're like, oh my God, is this another metaverse playing out here with all the AI spend? You guys remember a couple years ago, Mark Zuckerberg was going deep into the metaverse, right? And we all kind of knew the metaverse was BS. I mean, look, I didn't own Meta at that point. I wish I bought it after the crash, right? I didn't. But I knew the metaverse was BS. Come on. You had Snoop Dogg buying a $500,000 house in the metaverse, people buying real estate in the metaverse. And then when you actually look at what the metaverse is, right, it looks like a 2000s computer game. I mean, who the heck is going to go in the metaverse? Oh, I'm going to buy a house in the metaverse. Like, come on, man. We're not there yet. It's not Ready Player One yet. That is what people think when they think of metaverse, right? Ready Player One. Go watch that movie. Highly recommend. Not the 2000s freaking computer game. So clearly Zuckerberg was going off the rails there. And what happened? He pulled back spending. He kind of scrapped a lot of that. And the stock recovered massively. You know what I mean? So now investors are worried. They're like, oh my God, is he going too much into AI? How are they going to monetize the AI? Are they spending too much on it? What's going to be the return? You know, how long is it going to take to make the money, right? Right. I mean, there's so many freaking questions at this point, and the stock's slipping into earnings likely because of that. And it's trading, believe it or not, guys, 21 times forward earnings right now. This stock is so, I don't want to say it's so cheap. I mean, it's not so cheap, but I mean, guys, for the growth that we're seeing, I think they're expecting 20% top line growth. Um, I mean, out of the big tech names, they're the highest growing company, right? 21 times forward earnings, I think, is low. And I'm considering buying more. Honestly, I'm at that point where I might pick up some more shares before the earnings. I think if we get, a good earnings, I mean, look, I think they're going to have a good report, EPS wise, revenue, guidance. The CapEx, I'm interested to see how that's looking. Again, remarks from Zuckerberg would be nice there. And I feel like if they say they're slowing down on CapEx or, maybe pulling back a little bit, anything of that tone or nature, or let's say if we get any more insight on how they're going to make the money back or what they're going to, how they're going to monetize things, that is what could cause the stock to rip. And let's be honest, if they cut CapEx or they pull back a little bit, that's going to make the stock go up. That's the reality. And even if they don't, honestly, I think we're due for a rebound here. It all comes down to what comes out of the earnings call. That's very important. So I'm looking to buy more Meta here. Honestly, man, I kind of bought a lot of it quickly at that time, about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I built it out quickly, but purposely, right? Because I didn't think it was going to stay low for long. I still don't, honestly, man. I think Meta is going to rebound over the next quarter. So maybe it did stay lower for a little longer than I thought initially. But I guess it did rebound then again. We got down to 584 and it did see an $100 rebound. So I wanted to get in kind of on that initial dip. I bought a good amount there. And now I'm like, sheesh, I'm down on the position now slightly, very slightly. And I'm like, let me add a little more. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it here into earnings. And let's say it goes under 600, I am going to buy more. We'll see. So I like Meta here. I think long term, they're going to be just fine, just beautiful. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, billions of users, advertising giant machine, they're going to be just fine. But we're going to have to see how they're going to monetize the AI, what's going to happen there. That's what's going to move the stock in the future. We shall see. So Meta, I'm looking to buy more, and I'm also looking to add more MercadoLibre, which has seen a little pullback here over the last couple of days. So this is one that we were buying, or I was buying at the end of last year, a little bit earlier on this year to start the year, and it popped like crazy. Literally to start the year, it went ballistic. $2,200 a share. It was literally at $1,900 at the end of last year, right around when we started buying it. So it ran up and I was like, all right, I'm going to let it cool off. I'm not going to buy more here at the 2250, 2200 level because I knew it was going to pull back. Here we are. It's pulled back and now we're back to about 2000, 2100. I think this is a good, for me, buy the dip opportunity, an opportunity to add more to a position that I'm looking to build this year. So that's MercadoLibre for me. I love the fundamentals, obviously, long term. And I think the chart looks great as well to couple with that, which I always like. So MercadoLibre looking good. Pulling back here. I'm looking to add some more. And I think a lot of these crypto stocks are about to go nutty, guys. Maybe not crazy, but I think Circle Internet Group is gearing up for a move. I'm not necessarily buying more of this stock today or now, but I think we're gearing up for a breakout over $90, and I'm kind of Looking at this, like, I think if we take that out, we run to 110. I might take the profit on Circle and put that money elsewhere. I'm thinking maybe more MercadoLibre, maybe more, I don't know. We'll see if that plays out. I'm thinking about it, you know. So that Circle Internet Group, I'm already in it. I'm up on the stock. And earlier today, we hit almost 90 a share. It almost broke out this morning. So I think we're going to retest those highs on Circle. If we start ripping through 90, I'm looking to lock in the profits there. Potentially, I'm not 100% convinced on that yet. Thinking about it, and then I might, again, take that money, add some more MercadoLibre, maybe add a little more XNET, which is a more speculative small cap Chinese stock that I've been adding a little bit here recently. I think I'm down a little bit. I bought some at $8. Now it's at $7.76. So I might add the dip here. Similar situation to MercadoLibre. It's still breaking out, but we're seeing a little pullback within the breakout. So I like adding in those scenarios. So I'm looking to add some more XNET. I think this is a $10, $12 stock, maybe higher than that. We'll see. But yeah, that is what I'm doing right now, guys. Well, part of it, you know. I was saying I was going to add some more Netflix or add Netflix shares. I didn't do that yet. We're at 88.50. We actually hit a low today, 87.95. So I'm so close to adding like 100 shares of Netflix, but I haven't done it yet. I want to build a position. I want to start off the position, but I'm like, should I do it now? Wait till earnings. I have options. I'm in call options, so it's like I have some exposure. I'm on the fence, man. It's like I want it at $83. But it's like, oh, I'm going to be pissed if earnings come out, the stock goes to 100, and I'm like, oh, there goes that, right? But then I'd make money on the calls. Either way, I'd be happy, but I'm probably going to pull the trigger on Netflix maybe tomorrow. And that's another thing. It's like Circle Internet Group, I do like that company long term. I do like that company, but it's like when I bought that stock, Netflix was trading at, I think, $110 a share, right? Now that Netflix is tanked to 87, I'm like, I want to shuffle around some money potentially, take the profit on Circle, put it in Netflix even, you know what I mean? Or if Circle breaks out tomorrow, I was thinking about doing this today, literally, but now I'm like, I'm looking at the Circle chart. I think there's going to be a breakout to $100, but by then, Netflix might have already recovered. So you guys see the dilemma I'm in right now. And yeah, I could add fresh cash into the portfolio. I could do that, but for some reason, I kind of want to cycle through or rebalance a little bit, you know what I mean, with the existing capital. And that's the thing, you know, when you build up your portfolio to a certain point, it's like you can rebalance. You can sell 100 shares here, take that money, buy another stock. You don't always have to be putting in fresh money. Obviously, it's good to have, recurring deposits, but once your portfolio grows, right, you can, you could do this with however much money you have, but it's easier. It makes more sense, taking 10K off this position, putting it in this new stock as opposed to, let's say you have a $5,000 portfolio. Rebalancing and doing all that doesn't really make sense. I would focus more on growing the dollar value, but whatever. We're not going to get into that today. We're rambling a little bit, guys, but yeah, that's pretty much a look into what I'm thinking right now, and that's kind of the point of these videos, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Check out the Patreon if you want to join the Patreon, where you get access to my portfolio updates, full screenshots, full transparency. We're investing right now $1,000 a week. That's on Patreon. There's also a private Discord. You get my thoughts, ideas, more access to me throughout the week. Check it out. Link down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next one.